All right, welcome back everyone. Dr. Ben, not a real doctor here. So you want to hike barefoot? Fantastic, let's get you there. Now, before you take off on your barefoot adventure, I highly recommend you transition over to minimalist shoes if you haven't already. If you're not regularly wearing minimalist shoes, this is going to be a major shift, and it's better to do this in stages rather than dive right in. Now, if you're like me and stubborn as a mule and have to do things at 10,000% when you commit to doing something, you can do it. It's just, you're gonna have to be extra careful. That's why I recommend transitioning to minimalist shoes first. That's a whole nother thing, but we'll talk real quickly about the foot, the lower leg, and the anatomy so that you understand why this is a big deal. So on the bottom of your foot, across the ball of your foot, you have fat cushioning. On your heel, you have fat cushioning. You have 33 joints in your foot. It moves all over the place to adapt to the terrain, right? You have tons of muscles in your lower leg that connect across the ankle into the foot. So there's a lot of tissue that has to adjust to being barefoot, or even if you're just going to minimalist shoes, to adjust to minimalist shoes. That's why it's really important to do this gradually and not just dive in and go, oh, I'm gonna go for a 4-mile hike, my first outing. You're probably gonna be miserable for several days or several weeks after, so don't do that. What I recommend is starting this process gradually and building over time. Now, a great way to break into barefoot hiking is start with your shoes on. When you find an area that's comfortable, slip your shoes off for 5, 10, or 15 minutes and walk that way for a while. Let your feet adjust slowly. Listen to your feet. If they start to complain even a little bit, put your shoes back on. There's no need to push it to the point where you're uncomfortable, and especially uncomfortable for the rest of the hike or several days or weeks after. Err on the side of caution, do this a little bit every day, and over time your feet will build up tolerance, resistance, strength, resilience, and it will become less and less of a problem for you to hike these trails barefoot. It's a gradual process. You're making up for lost time because you've probably been wearing lots and lots of really harsh, rigid footwear. You gotta give your tissues time to adjust. It takes time to build your foot up to the strong, healthy foot that it should be. So there's another good idea when you're transitioning over to barefoot hiking that you wanna keep in mind. When you're first breaking into barefoot hiking, it's really handy to have a trail that's nearby that you've hiked a bunch of times that you're really familiar with. If you know what the trail looks like, what the conditions are like, how hard it's gonna be on your feet, it's a lot easier to have a positive mindset. It really sucks to get like 2 miles into a 4-mile hike and realize the rest of the hike is gonna be not only miserable barefoot, but just miserable in general. So until you're really well conditioned for barefoot hiking, don't really do brand new trails barefoot. Take your time and stick to a trail that you're really familiar with. Think of it as conditioning, as training, rather than going for a hike. Not that it won't be pleasant, not that it can't be pleasant, but you're training your feet and your lower legs and really your entire body to adjust to barefoot. So give it the fighting chance and use a trail that you're really familiar with. Now, it also goes without saying, if you are going barefoot, then you have to be much more mindful of the conditions on the trail. Around here, cactus is always something you have to look out for, but broken bottles like glass, I've been going barefoot enough that I don't worry too much about broken glass. Every once in a while I get a little thorn or something in my foot, you just pick it out. My feet are pretty tough at this point and it's not really a concern. But that's why I also recommend that you have a pair of shoes with you. If something like that happens and it's uncomfortable, you can just put your shoes on to finish the hike. This is all about fun, training your body and getting more in touch with yourself and with the earth, because the amount of feeling and feedback that you get when you're hiking barefoot is like, it almost feels like walking blindfolded when you put shoes back on once you've experienced it. But that's Really, it's not a complicated process. Take your time, work on it a little bit every day. Your body will adjust very well. Your feet are incredible, like Leonardo da Vinci said, a marvel of engineering. So put in the time, put in the effort, enjoy the process, and before you know it, you'll be going for 2, 3, 4 mile hikes barefoot and absolutely loving it. Those are some of my tips for transitioning over to barefoot hiking. If you like the video, smash the thumbs up. If you feel like there's something that I didn't cover or you want more detail on something, drop me a comment down below. If you know somebody who can benefit from this video, shoot the video over to them. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. Until next time, keep your life in motion.